Now if I can find you.
So it's interesting that they were like, I'm scared and I'm getting freaked out about finances. I'm so much.
There you are. Okay. All right, we're live on Facebook now, and I'm just going live on Instagram. So, all right, cool. Well, hello everyone who might be joining us or watching this replay. I am here with EQUANIMOUS, who is joining our lineup on Sunday, June 11th. And I'm really excited to talk with you. I've never met you. I have just really started hearing about you. And honestly, I think I posted about this. I had planned to go to Envision, and I was looking at the lineup, and I was really excited to see you. And then I wasn't able to make it. I love that they are able to transfer your tickets to the next year. And I try to do that for people with FlowJam too. But so yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you. And I have, just some questions from our audience that they wanted to know about you. And so, let's get started.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me. I acknowledge that I'm here in transportation going from one show to another, but I'm here and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, that's actually one of the questions. I mean, one of the things that I had to ask you was how you keep grounded and healthy during all this travel, because you're going to Costa Rica, California, all across the US.
Yeah, so basically, it's a good question. I eat only organic food, so typically what I do is I'll find an organic restaurant, and then get multiple meals from that one restaurant. Right now I have all my food
nice.
that I just take with me everywhere. So that's one thing. I take a lot of elements. They're LMNT. They're packet, electrolyte packets, all natural. So I do that. I try to sleep and meditate. I take different things, if I'm flying a lot, if there's radiation or things like this that I'm not aware of, I'll take Shilajit and different different supplements, herbs to help. So it's just a lot of body care, honestly, meditation, getting constant massages. I mean, I probably get at least a couple a month, just to make sure my body's tuned. I go to the chiropractor multiple times a month, and I don't have a bad back or anything. I do it to stay aligned, stay in the best place I can be. I don't drink alcohol. A lot of times, people when they're on the road, they party and drink alcohol, which no judgment to that. I mean, everyone likes to party. I like to party, but alcohol is just not something that I really do. So that's also helpful as well.
Yeah, great tips. I can definitely I think I saw one of your stories where you were flying. I think you were coming back from Costa Rica and you had ashwagandha. Someone had given you ashwagandha for helping you stay alert, because you were saying that you're really tired.
I want us to go there because
yes, those things help, it's I do the best I can.
Yeah. So I'm curious how you got started, where I've read your bio, and I know that you're from Massachusetts. Oh my God, I can't say it.
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Which is cool because my whole family is from Massachusetts. We're right in Boston. I have the last name Walsh, pretty New England. And my family from Melrose, outside of Boston.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I grew up in Newton, Mass. A lot of people grew up in Newton, Mass. Joe Rogan, Louis C.K. A lot, just really some cool cats. I've been making music all my life. I've just always been playing music, and I have some rock bands and different projects, and it was just always a thing that I did. I taught myself how to play different instruments and took a couple of lessons here and there, but and then as early as 12, I was actually in an electronic music course in middle school.
Wow.
So I started producing when I was about 12, and just kind of grew from there pretty much.
Damn. Did you go to like, did you just
Or like if you're
kind of
gonna say something,
do
you
that like
recognize that it
from
also
high
has
school, or did you go to college for it? Or-
No, yeah, I went to Syracuse University, and I actually studied this. And because like my parents and my family, they were encouraging for me to do what I wanted to do, but they weren't like encouraging for me to like choose a realistic career that being an artist can do, like work in the industry or be a businessman or make songs, like do sound for film or things like this. And so I'm grateful for that support, and also I don't think anyone in my family thought I could be a touring artist. I just don't think that was really on the table. So that was actually kind of a surprise to me too. But it's
being a
happening.
touring artist.
Yeah, just like being an artist that can sustain myself from
Yeah.
music. I think a lot of people, it's like a big goal of a lot of artists.
Yeah.
It was for me too, and it feels very out of reach, I think, when you're younger and you don't see that. But I got to understand the industry, and that really helped me a lot, learning those things. It helps me grow on Spotify and figure out the right agent to get, different things like this.
Yeah. Seems like you have a good agent. He's definitely
Yeah,
like,
I love my agent. I'm glad you think he's good as well.
yeah, he's definitely on the ball and
Yeah.
very communicative, and is super willing to call you. Yeah, it's helpful. It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's good. A lot of agents also can tend to be like too like type A, and so something that I like about my agent that I've spoken with him about is to make sure that when we are talking to people that he's kind, and so like it's this balance of like being kind but also being like on it, and so that's like an interesting balance, but I let my agent do his thing and I trust him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
kind
kind of
relationship.
I sometimes struggle with that balance as well, because
Sure.
I dealing with so many people and so many moving parts that it can be difficult sometimes, especially like when you're only communicating online, like or emails, things can be hard. So
It's easier to sometimes just be like, hey, do this, and forget about the kindness aspect. I totally
yeah.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, sometimes I forget like the happy Monday, or
Right.
how are you going, instead of like, can you do this, like this is what's happening right now. So I'm glad that like, yeah, you understand the balance, and he as well, like from what I've seen, has a good balance of that. I want to know like how you became like where, at what point did you feel like your career like was kind of taking off, where like you actually were getting all of these invites, like where you didn't have to really do anything, like people are reaching out to you?
Yeah, I think it started to just happen organically. Like as I was playing live, the more and more that I would play shows, people would invite me out more, and they would get excited about it. And I think it's really, it came in cultivating these really beautiful experiences. And I think, part of my live set is about feeling safe to be free and open, and, cry and laugh. And, it's more than just listening to music and dancing. It's
Right.
about really tapping into your own self-expression, whatever it is to kind of be expressed, and to do that from a place of the heart.
People can feel that from your set, I'm sure.
I hope so. Yeah, I seem to get that feedback.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, your Spotify listeners are like over 300,000. So, you've got a huge tribe listening to your music, and, from what I've heard, it's very uplifting, and I'm really excited to have like that on Sunday, because it's kind of like, a culmination of what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is, and end on that note. I think it's going to be really powerful for people to like home.
I'm excited about that too. I think it's going to be a beautiful experience, and it's also going to be the first time my cousins live out in DC,
Oh,
and
really?
it's going to be the first time they're going to see me play. So that's super cool. So I'm very excited about that.
They're coming to Rixieville?
Yeah, they're going to come. Yeah.
Oh, yay. That makes me happy. So we found this property. I don't know if you know the story, but it's this festival started in my backyard in Bluemont, Virginia.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we just really, like, I never thought of becoming a festival producer. It actually took me over 5 years to really like I'm comfortable with that.
Good for
And
you, by the way.
yeah,
Props. That's
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. Yeah, it makes me really, really happy to support artists in this way and give them like a stage where people are really like into that healing vibe and not just coming to a festival to party. I think, like, the balance we were talking about with the balance of having the yoga and then also having that live music and all of these artists. And actually, we've never really been like you're the pretty much the like first DJ that I've hired that is like has a name and is well known. Usually I'm just like curating from our local and
Yeah.
like supporting artists from the ground up. But I know that you have like your career is kind of just like really taking off. I think, I don't know, like you've been doing it for a while, of course, but I feel like you're like the sky's the limit for you as far as like what you're doing, and just the message that you have with your music is so needed,
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it just gives me like I can listen to it like over and over again, and sometimes I just like do that and I'm on my walk and I'm listening to you and it makes me feel really good. So I'm just really excited to dance.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah,
that's the idea. A lot of music too at festivals can tend to be like kind of dark.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring light.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing wrong with dark. There's a darkness is great. It's we need it to sleep.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I am aiming to provide with my purpose.
Yeah, definitely. Which brings me to my next little question. This is from one of my friends that actually saw you in Costa Rica, and I was like, what should I ask EQUANIMOUS?
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to know, like, share a snippet of the world that you desire to see.
The world that I desire to see, I'm not necessarily attached to how it gets here or what it looks like, but I would like it to include more of a I would like there to be more of a responsibility morally to, sorry if the person's talking there, it looks like we're arriving to this. I would like to see more of a moral responsibility on people with power. And I would like there to only be organic food, so that there's no pesticides. I would like there to be I would like them. I mean, there's so many things that I could say, about the medical system. And there's a lot of different things, but I think ultimately, I'd like to see just a world of awareness and love, where there's more awareness and love, honestly, and there's more. That's more of a base foundation and vibration, so that things like greed and just different kind of negative things are not affecting people who are susceptible to that, because I do feel like there's a lot of people in general who feel like there's a lot of people in general who
Um,
are just kind of listen to what they're told.
Yeah.
And I don't think that in like the most ideal world, I actually think that that can still exist. There can still be a certain level of submission. It's just that there needs to be greater responsibility on those who are dominating, for lack
Yeah.
of better words, you know. And so yeah, I'd like to see a world where I guess those who are in control and who are in power are doing it from a place of pure authentic love, and that there isn't all these things getting in the way of that.
Yeah. Good answer. I
Yeah.
agree.
But on like a totally other level, I would like also love to see a world where we can like where we can like fly as humans,
Uh-huh.
you know, and where like we can just like do all this sort of magic things. But that's a whole, I don't know how realistic that is.
To fly, like individually fly, like
Yeah, I mean, I think we should all. I think that would be epic if we could all fly. Don't you?
I agree. Yeah. I actually, that's like one of my, if anyone asks me what superpower you would like, I usually say flying is number one, and then
Nice.
teleportation. But that like you could
That's
just
like kind of like flying. You just
Yeah,
fly really fast. You don't need to teleport if you can fly really fast. Right.
and then number three, I really wish I could break dance. Like I wish I
Okay,
could
yeah.
like whip it out and
Well,
just
that one you can do.
impress everyone. Yeah, with lots of practice, with lots of stretching, probably.
Right. Yeah, stretching is, that's something that I want to do more. Stretching. I stretch a lot, but I want to stretch more. I feel
Yeah.
like stretching is very be in transit here as we're getting off this mode of transportation here. But yes, stretching I feel like is essential, and it's just important. And I want to do it more, stating that to the universe.
Great. Do you practice yoga at all?
Not as much as I should. It's hard when I'm traveling so much. I used to a lot. I don't as much now. I meditate a lot. I definitely I still play basketball. That's like my yang energy is basketball, and then my yin I would say is meditation.
Nice. Yeah, I've been watching your stories. You share a lot on basketball, and I think like
I love basketball. It's such a beautiful metaphor for life, and it's just how I can like get my good like, you know, my good energy out.
yeah. Where are you traveling to right now?
Right now I'm on the way to the Seattle airport. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
played in Bellingham last night. So yeah. So now I can actually be more present, just like in a place. I'm not sure where that would be, but yeah, it's just a lot of travel. Again, I know we were like scheduled to do this at one time, and then it had to get moved. But this happened to be the only window where I knew I would actually be able to be on the phone.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it. It's
Of course.
entertaining. It's
Is it,
entertaining.
right? It's like I know I've actually thought about, it's funny, I really have thought about hiring like a filming person just to film my life and just see what that would do. But it's hard to justify it because I don't have like a final product in mind for that. You know what I mean?
It could be a cool like vlog. Like, that you
Yeah,
can
it could, but then I gotta like hire someone to run the blog and all this thing, which I'm open to. I could do these things. I think it's something that like, you know, as I start to kind of come into new management, I'll discuss with them. And now there's a train coming in. Geez, sorry about all the sounds. I apologize, everybody.
No, it's okay. We can hear you fine, or at least I can.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I want to ask, it was interesting. I talked to Natalie Brooke, who's playing on our Thursday night yesterday. And one of the questions I asked her, and I'm intrigued because I know that you're touring all over. So you might have a good story for this.
Sure.
What's been the weirdest or craziest experience that you've had like on the road or on tour that is just like, you know, kind of could be good, could be bad, could be weird, like just bizarre,
Yeah.
anything that comes to mind?
Wow, that's a tough question. There have been lots of experiences. I mean, that comes to mind. I don't know. It's hard to. This is a hard one. I'll say one, I guess, that was kind of just that's coming through, but just know that there's probably way crazier stories than this. This isn't like crazy, it's just what is coming up right now.
Okay.
When I was younger, like graduating, probably college, I watched this animation thing called Spirit Science. I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's like it was like a thing on YouTube that went viral for a while, and it was just kind of like, I don't know. I thought it was super cool at the time. It, you know, it would like help me in my early awakening, and you know, more than 10 years go by, don't even think about it very much, maybe here and there. But at the time, I like watched every episode, all the things. I was at Burning Man,
Nice.
playing some shows over there at Burning Man, and
What year was
and
that?
like this year,
Really?
and
Oh, this year.
oh, you're at the Burn? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played a couple different shows at the Burn.
Oh damn! I wish I
and
was.
yeah, and you know, I was like with a bunch of friends and got to like just kept running in, like was in like I think we were at Playa Alchemist. Yeah, we were at Playa Alchemist, and we kept on like running in. It was like one person after the other, and I had like, you know, it was the first time I had met Aubrey Marcus too, who has kind of like been in our space a little bit. We've, you know, kind of exchanged messages here and there, and so I like met him for the first time, and then like right next to it was Adrian Grenier, who's the guy from Entourage, who's a super nice dude, and I've actually played. I performed at his house before, so I'd met him before, but it was just like one person after another, seeing old friends, and then like finally like things just kind of like calmed down for a second, and I like recognized this guy, and he was like, we're like looking right at each other, and I was like, are you the Spirit Science guy? And he was like, are you Equanimous? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh my God, I love your music, and starts telling me how he like plays my music to all his people and all these things. And it was super trippy for me because I, you know, was like a fan of his work.
Yeah,
And he had already know. And so like
that's cool.
that was just like a trippy kind of like crazy moment. And then like right after that, I ran into this guy who I'd seen at other festivals, who goes by Convict, who's become a friend. And we actually, because of that moment, ended up releasing a song together that just came out on Friday. But it's like, it's things like this are just constantly happening, I feel like. So it's, you know, yeah, it's hard to like, it's just like constantly from one thing to the next, you know, and
Well, you're
you know,
like
yeah.
totally in alignment. So the universe is like giving you all of these opportunities. And I feel like that when, you know, with Flow Jam, like I kind of resisted the first couple years of really doing it for real, because I was like, well, can this really happen outside of my
It's
house?
happening. You're doing
You know?
it.
And then it's like happening. And then like I'm just so like grateful for all of the people that, you know, just like the applicants and the people that I bring on, like you, that are, you know, open to coming to a festival in a new area and are excited.
Well, I've heard of your festival. People have said to me before, I have gotten messages saying, are you going to play Flow Jam? Can you play Flow Jam? You know,
really?
Yeah. And I've, you know, it usually comes from people that don't realize like how the whole booking process works. They're like, oh, when are you going to play Flow Jam? You do blah, blah, you know, this kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, no, you were definitely on my radar. I was aware of what you were doing. So it was cool I'm not exactly sure how it even ended up working out, honestly, with my agent, but it was cool when he let me know that y'all were interested. I was like, oh, sweet. That's one that like I've been told just by random people on Instagram Messenger. that they wanted to see me there or whatever it is. So
Ah, that
yeah,
makes me
super
feel,
feels good.
that makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, how it all happened was, I was looking, finalizing and figuring out the headliners, and my friend Meredith, actually, who's going to be our artist coordinator to make sure you guys get all the things that you need. She sent me your profile, and because I, had seen you on Envision's lineup and looked at your music, I was like, oh, this could be like the perfect,
I
person.
love it. Yeah.
But so that's when I reached out to you guys, and thankfully, like, your agent was on it, and he like responded right away. And I love
Yep.
getting to business right away. Okay, like how can we make it work? And it happened really fast, and I was very grateful for that. And that you were gonna be. I know you're coming from Mass afterwards, like you're playing something in Massachusetts and then coming back
Yep.
down. So
Well, yeah, it's actually worked out perfect because I'm playing a festival in Kentucky the weekend after. And so we're doing, I haven't announced it publicly yet, but yeah, we're doing Massachusetts, then then I'm going to, right after I play you, I'm flying to South Carolina and playing there.
Wow.
And then Asheville,
Ooh.
and then to Kentucky.
Sweet.
So like all sort of worked out.
Yeah. When are you playing Asheville? I'm in Asheville right now. I live in Asheville.
Oh, amazing. I'm playing Asheville on that Tuesday. So the Tuesday after whatever it is, the 14th, maybe, I think 13th.
Oh, after.
13th.
Okay.
Yeah, 13th.
Where are you playing?
I'm playing at this really beautiful spot. It's called the Hawk and the Hawthorne. Have you been there?
No, but I've heard of it. I've
Yeah,
definitely.
it's super cool. It's like beautiful outdoorsy, but also has like a indoor structure. So like if it were to rain, it would be covered. And it's like in this beautiful field. It's a little bit outside of town.
Right.
But I tend to like gravitate more towards the, I guess I like playing more of the like really cool venues that maybe they're not like right downtown, but they provide a really cool experience. So that's why we do that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I was like, even just when I saw your pictures, I was like, okay, this guy like vibes with our whole, like natural element. It's a big like, I know the research that I've done is that your brain can literally change with 3 days in nature. So everything that I do, it's like, all the combination of like being in nature and like being barefoot, grounding, like feeling the trees. And when I saw your pro photos, you like the one that we used is like you and like, I think you might even be barefoot, but I can't like the template needed. Wasn't able to show your feet, but yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, he's like organic, natural.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I'm glad you picked up on that. I definitely am. In fact, I live on a lake house in the middle of the woods. And so like when I'm not traveling, like I need that time. Yeah, it's 30 minutes from town, or the town that I'm near. It's a beautiful spot and it's just like in the woods. It's like when I'm home, I don't even leave. I'll like go to the grocery store and then I'll play basketball. And then maybe I'll like go to the ecstatic dance, and that will all happen in one day. And then I'll get my food and I'll just like be home for a week. And that's how I like it for now, at least, because the touring is just like so much energy.
Yeah.
As you can tell, it's like I'm trying to have them call you, and I had to schedule it where I'm like, don't even know where I'm going to be in the middle of the street or whatever.
Well, it shows your ability to multitask, and
yeah, we've got it. I care a lot about my career and my music, and I care about this mission I'm on to spread positivity and love through musical experiences. So if an interview of getting to know an awesome person like yourself who's also on a similar mission is gonna help support that, then I'm there.
Oh, that makes me feel so good. Yeah. Like I said, it can get lonely a little bit as a producer, because there's not many festivals that I've found that A, want to collaborate, and B, are like similar in the fact that like we get like the burner scene, we get the music scene, and we get the yoga scene. So usually you just have like either the yoga with the festival, or like it's just music, or you know, at the burn they focus on the visual arts, and it's very different. So like when I'm producing, it's been interesting to see how it's all developed. But I love, yeah, like when I'm just like sending emails and, you know, talking to people, and then we only get that one weekend together, it's hard to stay like connected throughout the time, to really feel like the heartbeat of it. And doing these interviews, like I said in the very beginning, you're only the second one, so it's just like already helping. And
That's
then
beautiful.
yeah, and then like on Monday, I know you still have to post about it, about the flyer or whatever, but on Monday, when you know we released the flyer, it was like everyone sharing. And I don't think I've ever been that prepared. Like last year I was kind of traveling all over. I went to Africa, I went to Ometepe Island, did a retreat, and I neglected a little bit to get the marketing out, and then to get it like in a synchronized way where everyone's announcing excitement coming. And so when that happened on Monday, it was like I could feel that energy, and it just felt so good. And it just reminded me of like why I am doing this and why I put so much effort into it.
I
And like,
totally get that. And I throw my own festival, High Vibe Fest, in Northern California. So like, and that's happening May 4th to May 8th in Northern California. Ayla Nerio, myself, Skyzer, Ruby Chase, Preacher, Murillo, a bunch of people. And I know that feeling. I know what that's like, you know, so I totally get it. And yeah, I'm happy to support that. And I am gonna be posting about it within the next day or so for sure.
yeah.
I just have to create the feeling. Is it, I have a question. Does it go like, do people stay Sunday night also, or do people kind of leave after on Sunday? Or like, does it go until Monday?
It goes until Sunday evening. And then we have a few people obviously staying over, but like, yeah, the average person will be packing out. I would love, like, when we were on my farm, and that after my farm, we found a 200-acre property that I developed and like cleaned out their barn. It was a huge barn, amazing view, super organic. We like built the bathrooms, like all this stuff. And we were able to stay on that Sunday. But this venue is they're a what are they? It's a nonprofit, and they do like they work with camps, summer camps, and also they do like Boy Scout stuff.
So is there like a late night thing, or are you guys kind of shutting everything down by 12 on the weekends? Like, how does that vibe work?
So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there's definitely late night stuff. And then Sunday, we're just like focusing on, you know, the day and bringing it evening. So so your set will be like perfect. I haven't slotted it yet, but it'll be perfect.
But it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, that'll be nice. I love playing for the day, and then, you know, let's hope for beautiful weather and sunshine. And,
I honestly feel that I have like special guides like protecting the space. Like we've every single year, one year, when it was still on my property, like there was a tornado warning, and like all of our, you know, like it started to rain, like, but it happened at such a like synchronistic moment. Like it started to rain right after this yoga class. And so then we just like all moved into the barn, and like, because of the protection of the Blue Ridge Mountains, like it totally missed us. But, you know, there was like a power glitch for a second, but then, you know, it like was perfect weather. And then another time right before the festival happened, it was in 2019, a huge windstorm came in, and I just bought this tent for the main stage. And then when it was set up, I was like thinking inside my head, I was like, ooh, that tent doesn't really look that great. It doesn't look like a main stage tent. And then the weather just came in and ripped it right out and like destroyed the tent. And then I was like upset at the same time. Like it was beautiful. Like the people that were supposed to be on the main stage just did it under a tree, and it was like beautiful weather afterwards. And So we've had some like weird weather things, but always, and knock on wood, this is a bamboo
Yeah.
desk that I have, but
I got some.
yeah, we've really lucked out on weather. And I honestly, I do believe that I have like special guides. And this year, like my dad and my aunt passed, so I
Oh, I'm
feel,
sorry to hear that.
thank you. Yeah, I feel that they're gonna be extra like protective of the space. And if you saw the flyer, that there's 2 cardinals on it that represent
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, it's a beautiful flyer.
Thank you. Thank you. So you mentioned High Vibe Fest and producing that. I want to ask you a couple questions about that. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
how did you? Is this your first year or second? Or
So I've done a couple of 1 days before, and then we did our first 3-day last year. This is
Wow.
technically our second year.
Oh, awesome. And
Yeah.
how does it like? So you started a brand, High Vibe Records, right? That's your
Yeah,
LLC?
yeah, yep. That's my label, High Vibe Records, and we put out, I say like it's consciousness meeting the party and the party meeting consciousness. And so we put out, high vibrational music, and yeah, it's the festival's just kind of a place to have a lot of our artists. We work with a lot of artists, so to have our artists like be able to showcase their talents and have a good time for the community. And there's no alcohol. It's a no alcohol event. Again, no judgment on alcohol. It's just not what we do. Yeah, it's all the food's organic. It's going to be a really special event. It's 20 minutes away from Harbin Hot Springs. So it's right near a hot spring. It's at a beautiful location called Mandala Springs in Northern California with creeks. And we have, 68 different workshop presenters, 68 different artists.
Wow.
Yeah, expecting somewhere between, I would say, 1,200 and 2,000 people. And I'm
Amazing.
excited. Yeah, I think it'll be a good one this year, and just praying for the best and hoping people have a good time.
Isn't it like a little scary to like make that investment and do all
Yeah.
of it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I mean, you brought up the investment. It's definitely the thing I've invested in the most. I mean, so far, and it's, I sometimes ask me, I'm like, why am I even doing this? It's it can bring a lot of pressure, but I think because like being equanimous is the most important thing for my career right now. Doing the festival, I've got a really good team. And so I have a really, I'm sure all about delegation and all that, but I have a really good team, and they make me feel safe and secure. Like, hey, we can invest and make this thing work.
That's awesome. How did you find, like, how'd you collect your team?
Just pick people that I liked that worked at other festivals. It was like, hey, we're doing a great job. I go to festivals all the time because it's my place of work. I play them.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly meeting people. So that's how I met everybody. Straight up. And then people work with people, they recommend other people. But yeah, everyone, literally everyone in that team I've gotten from other festivals that I played or worked.
Nice. It's nice to hear about that, like, and relate with you about that, because I think, we're crazy. We are crazy. Yeah. Like, I've asked myself multiple times where it just became like, why, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is this viable? Can I like really do this? But then it's addicting. It's so addicting.
Sure, because it's like a project. It's your baby. I get that.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I'm just impressed with people who start festivals as like a legit festival, and they have to pay the grounds fee and all that stuff. Whereas like, it's for the first 4 years, we were just in my backyard. So and Dad was like really cool about it. And that's, one of the reasons why I'm like dedicating this year to him and my aunt. Because they were just so supportive. And my aunt was like the first one to really introduce me to music and supporting local artists. She always would give me gifts from local artists in Richmond, where she lived. And so it's just like a real tribute to them. And like I didn't skimp this year. I was like, I'm stacking this lineup with like people that have been on my wish list, and
Yeah, good for you.
and I agree about the team. Like you'll meet him. He's one of he's like the main stage sound guy. And he also plays in a band, Budograph Spaceship. I talk about him a lot. But he actually lives in Asheville too, but he grew up like right down the road from me in Bluemont. And he was the first, like, I had 10 bands originally play on the first year. And his band, I just knew like his talent was going to go far, and like he was going to keep on going. Like that was his, oh no, we lost you. Okay. We lost you. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get him back. His phone may have died, so we'll see if we can get him back. Let's see if he signs back on. But while I'm just talking to myself here, you guys, if you have any questions for Equanimous that you want me to ask, please let me know. I know that you guys are on Instagram. Hi. So let me know if you can, if you want any questions answered. We're gonna wait a couple more moments. Let's see, 6:14. So we were almost done anyways if you can't join back in live. But I'll wait a couple more minutes and just try to entertain you guys live. Hey! That's the beauty of doing interviews on the road. But I'm glad that Equanimous like shared about High Vibe Fest and being a festival producer, because that can be hard, you guys. Producing a festival is not easy. There's so much investment involved, so much time committed, without really even, without ever knowing that you're going to make that investment back. So it really is just a labor of love, and having all of you guys here and investing your weekend or your time at Flow Jam really like makes it, makes doing it so much better. And it becomes, like I said, becomes addicting. So I'm really excited about year 10 and getting Equanimous on the lineup. And if you're just joining us, we just had Equanimous with us, but we lost him. He's in transit, so I don't know if his phone died or what, or he lost service, but we are doing this Jam Tube live interview series with all of our artists, or as many as we can fit, until June. And next week we have Tara Eschenschroeder, who you guys have probably met before if you've come to Flow Jam. And we will be talking with Karen King. She just booked her interview as well. So if you guys have questions that you're like dying to ask these artists beforehand, please just send us a message on Facebook, comment below, or a message on Instagram. We would love to, ask the questions that you want answered. Equanimous will be with us on Sunday. And he may even be with us Saturday night. We still have to solidify that, but we'll announce that shortly if that's going to happen, but definitely on Sunday. So again, if you guys are planning your weekend, definitely make sure that you're staying on Sunday, because that's obviously going to be a big day. We're also having Faith Hunter come, who's really, really big in and teaches yoga and has a podcast if you guys haven't checked that out yet. So just to let you know, our tier 2 tickets will be coming on sale after April 7th. So make sure you buy your tickets before April 7th if you know you're going to go. And usually if you buy, and also just so you know, yay, he's coming back on. Okay.
Hi.
I just had to riff a little bit and talk, and I was like,
I know, I'm so sorry about that. My phone died.
I figured.
My phone died. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm glad. I mean, it feels good to. I'm glad we're talking more. It feels good. Longer than 20 minutes for sure, but
Feels good.
I know I tend to talk, like, I'm just so interested, and I was really excited to talk to you because you're doing so many amazing things that I really admire. And I was just, when you kind of went off, I was just like talking about your High Vibe Fest and just being a producer and how challenging that can be and how scary that can be to invest so much. And your lineup, I saw your lineup just like stacked with people.
Thank you.
I was so
Appreciate that.
impressed, and I wish that I could like just jet over there, teleport.
Come.
Fly,
Yeah,
know?
use your teleportation.
I know. I really, really wish you'd be the first stop for sure. So yeah, I guess I was just kind of like just acknowledging your hard work for that, because I know.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You too.
Yeah. So
You too.
yeah, we got to stick together, we got to like, right when we're like, there's been so many moments where my team has had to like, flip my mindset to like really think outside of the box when I figured like this was the end, like I have to stop. And I think when we cut off, I was telling you about our team, the main stage person, Zach Lutman, you'll meet and he'll get your sound really sweet. But he's been with us for like the past 10 years, and to have
to Seattle. I just been waiting for just right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. To have someone on your team for that long who knows you and knows your mission, like, it's so important. So I know, getting those people on your team is like really clutch for your success.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw your tickets, and they like, as soon as you announced it, it was like already sold out. I was like, how did you do that?
That's just the early bird. We're set, we do it in tiers, that's what I find helps.
Yes.
So yeah, early birds definitely sold out, has been for a bit, but we still got plenty of generals right now. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I was just telling the audience before, when you left, that like our tier 2 tickets will be on sale after April 7th. So, save that money, right?
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Save the money. Like, people watching know that they want to come see you. So like, just now,
come dance.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay. I have one last question before you go.
Great.
I'll let you go. And thank you so much for the time. I know we've gone over, but
my pleasure. It's all good
talking to you. So another question from my friend that saw you in Costa Rica, and we know you're like, how, and I know that you're in a relationship. How has it been? I guess it's maybe easier because she's also in the music industry, but how do you find like keeping a relationship going and being on the road and doing different things?
Yeah. I would say like prioritizing polarity is really important. It hasn't, it's not necessarily the easiest thing, but just prioritizing polarity. Like I sent her flowers yesterday, or I had them sent to her, just like things like this. And just being honest and open and authentic, and just like remembering to take time to like, just be with each other without having to worry about music things is really important. Going on dates, things like this, we tend to spoil each other quite a bit, which is fun. But yeah, what'd you say?
How did you meet?
We actually met like 6 years ago. On her birthday, I was dating one of her friends, and her friend, and so we were friends. Her and I were actually friends for like 5 years, and we had made music together for a while before we even started dating. And then, kind of just people were like, once we started dating, everyone was like, about time. But, until then we were pretty blinded to each other by that, because we had dated each other's friends. So it was like kind of like slightly off limits, you know how that goes. But then at one point we were just like in the studio, and it's actually funny. We have, we tend to record. I just like press voice record, so we never miss an idea. And I pressed record, and during that is actually when we had our first kiss. So it was like and I accompanied it on piano. I was playing piano during our first kiss, like while that was happening, and it's recorded. So that was kind of cool.
Wow. How
Yeah,
do we,
just like keeping the romance alive as much as we can.
that's nice. How do we
Yeah.
meet you? Yeah.
Yeah, she'll probably be there too. She'll come with me because she's on tour with me, so she'll come and probably sing a song or two or something. We'll figure it out.
I'm excited. Yes.
Yeah.
You know that, yeah, I liked her vibe. I liked the combo of you guys that
Thanks.
I saw, at least from videos from Envision that I didn't get to go to, but
Yeah, it was super fun.
you look like you have a good vibe together.
Thanks. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of Envision?
I liked a lot of that. I love Envision. It's such a good festival. I don't just like the people and the vibe and the camaraderie that's just like in the air. I really enjoy that.
The first time I went there was 2017, and I've only
cool.
been, but like I just was blown away, and I was like writing notes, like, oh,
Right.
how do you implement this? Like, how did they do this? Like, they just seemed like
They have such a good team too. We got to be close with that team because I played their New Year's event at his private
right.
space. So that was super cool. And yeah, they're just great people.
Was that the first? Well, they haven't produced in 3 years. So were you on their lineup before that? Did you know?
No, I had been there. I had been to Envision, but yeah, no, this was the first time I played it.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Yeah. I was like, I try not to have FOMO, but
yeah, but you know it comes sometimes.
it's hard because I was like, Costa Rica, dancing in the jungle, like their stages. I was just so impressed with their stages.
Next year you'll have to come out.
Oh, definitely. And now that I know, I feel like, yeah, that would be super cool to like vibe with you and hang out with you, be your friend. I want to be your friend.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hang out with you too for this festival in June. And
I'm excited because you get to like Sunday will be a great day, and like I know you're staying over, so that will be like super cool to just like hang out with you after all the things are, you know, kind of like,
yeah, it'll be good to hang. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't want to take any more of your time. I really appreciate you taking this time out. I know you're super busy, and thank you for rescheduling with me so that we could get, you know, the marketing out. And I'm just really excited, and I know that we're still kind of like figuring out maybe if you even come Saturday night. Like I've been talking to your agent about that. So
I told him I was open to it. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to be talking about this live, but I'd be open to doing a little late night party set as well as kind of like the heart opening one on Sunday. I think it could be super cool.
I know. I'm excited. Okay.
But I'll let you and my agent figure that one out.
Yeah. We'll work it out.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, well, safe travels where you're going, and you know, we'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Great to speak with you. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. And good, I mean, like, I wish you nothing but the best for High Vibe Fest.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So
I hope it goes well.
Anyone tuning in and is in California, make sure you go over to his page and find High Vibe Fest. Local in Virginia, or if you're just on the East Coast and want to go to a cool festival that has like all the things, please purchase your tickets before they go up so that you can like do a workshop, an add-on workshop. We're having ice baths. Like we've got like my friend who used to go to Flow Jam before he got into the healing world, and now he's like developed and studied with Wim Hof, lived with Wim Hof, and he's coming from Mexico to do ice baths. And then we've got cacao ceremonies, we've got sup yoga. Like save that
it's gonna
money
be great.
Add-on workshop. Yeah.
I'm
excited for you guys to meet. So
beautiful.
Thank you so much. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna that. All right. See you later.
See ya. Take care. Great to speak with you.
You.
Bye.
Bye.